And to my number two is John Who. I had problems with this one because I kind of wanted to put John Who at number one, but then playing John Who and playing all these characters, it made me realize like why I do like these characters. And John Who is probably he's arguably like my favorite. He might be my favorite character they released this year. And with John Who, he looks absolutely great. Like he's stunning. Like I think John Who might be the best looking hero of the year. Might. That's the keyword, might. And then his gameplay, despite being such a not so good. He's not so good. He's a mediocre character. He's barely mediocre. That's what I'm gonna say. He's barely mediocre. Despite being a barely mediocre character, like he can be surprisingly fun, and that might just be me being biased because I like dodging with characters. I like the whole dodge play styles. So when I saw that John Who was gonna be a uh, a dodge centric character, I got really happy because I main Tiandi. So and before I main Tiandi, I main Kensei, and Kensei is not really a dodge centric hero, but like you can work dodges into Kensei without just sitting there and dodging everything. And so, John Who sounded like absolute fun to me, and he still is fun. But like with John Who, my biggest thing is like I get frustrated playing John Who because they're just I don't know. There's so many questionable decisions with him. Like, for example, like John Who's unblockable lights is an interesting thing. Like, I really do think it's interesting. Everybody's just gonna meme it and be like, "Oh, we don't need unblockable lights. Unblockable lights are cancer." But like, at this point in For Honor, I think we kind of do need things like this, things that kind of push the envelope into making us better and to challenging us more, instead of continuing to get that very reactive sort of offense that we've been getting, which is an entirely different problem. But I feel like that's interesting, but it might need to be looked at, and they need to play with the with the values, because on one hand, like it's great, and it's 600 milliseconds right now, which that's perfectly fine. But sometimes it feels like the damage is not worth it. Like, at least to me, I feel like this is crazy, and I feel like they should at least throw this in the testing grounds for us to try. But like, I don't know, make his unblockable lights like 20 damage, because either you're gonna parry it or you're not. It's one or the other. And if you parry it, that's a free light parry punish. So you get whatever character you're playing, especially if you're playing somebody like Lawbringer, you get a lot of damage for parrying a 600 millisecond attack. That's not very hard. But that's not really what I'm trying to get at. It's just that they need to play around with that a bit more and make it feel a bit more rewarding on John Who, because right now anytime I feel like I get it, I just anytime I feel like I get off an unblockable light, is I feel like I get it just because they just didn't parry. And then after that, I'm too scared to throw it out again, because it's like, are they going to parry it this time or are they not? Like, are they awake or are they not? But John Who, another problem with him is like, why are his dodge attacks not delayable? That's like the weirdest thing. I don't want to say he's limiting, but like his dodge attacks are gonna go in specific directions and whatnot, and they're gonna come from one or two directions, right? And even with his forward stuff, they're gonna be like one or two timings, right? The two timings. And so why is this stuff not delayable so you could try and throw people off a bit more? And then another big problem with John Who I have is like subduing counter blow. I actually love that move, and when I deflect and I do that, it's like, oh my god, I just feel like I really do feel like a badass, yo. I really do. I really do. But then, it only comes off of the deflect, and it's like, why would I want to do that? Because if I mean, when I deflect, I usually, depending on what I deflected, I go for like the corresponding punish. I personally, if y'all asked me what the punish was, I couldn't tell y'all. I can only do it. It's weird, but I feel like For subduing counterblow, it A needs to become like a parry punish. So like, off of a parry, you parry them, then bam, subduing counterblow right there. And I don't know, maybe you can make it confirm damage too. That's just an option. Give it both of those so it's just a bit more useful and it's seen a lot more aside from, people just looking stylish. Because I really only do it to look stylish and feel like a badass. And then either that or you could make it a neutral bash. I mean, I don't see much of a problem making it a neutral bash. Make it a neutral bash and make it confirm a little bit of damage. Because, I mean, with John Who, when I play him, I end up in a lot of staring contests because I can't do anything, and the person in front of me, in most cases, unless they're playing certain characters, they know I'm just going to dodge what they're going to do. And it sucks because I don't want to sit there and just stare at them. But then again, I don't want to throw out what I call parry bait. Because I feel like John Who is pretty much parry bait. And it's just so sad because, like, John Who is a character I love. Like, I'm absolutely in love with this character. I think Fu Ho and Sunda, which are both of the John Who's, female and male, I think they're both interesting. I like their backstories, and I feel like they fit into Year of the Harbinger, or if you want to call it Year of the Edge. They fit into Year of the Edge without actually being super edgy, and it's so nice and it's so refreshing too. I kind of pictured a story like this for the Wulin characters of this year, because to me, I don't feel like the Wulin could really be. I feel like the Wulin are dark in a different way, and John Who kind of, to me at least, pretty much proved that. And it's just so sad that this character with such great potential. Every character this year has had potential, but like a character with such great potential and who can be a lot of fun, just falls short because of some decisions that Ubisoft made. And these are things they could easily fix. Like, they could toss this stuff in the testing grounds and just play around with it. But I digress. That's just kind of a little rant. It's just so sad about that. But my favorite character of the year is Hitokiri. Without a doubt, Hitokiri is my favorite character. And I know what you're gonna say. You fucking suck. Why would you play Hitokiri? Hitokiri boring. And Hitokiri had a rocky start and everything like that. And I from the very beginning, I said I loved Hitokiri. You can go and ask my friends who I play For Honor with. From the very beginning, I said I loved Hitokiri. And if you asked me how I feel about Hitokiri at the beginning and how Hitokiri is now, I tell you the same exact thing, that I love Hitokiri. And I love Hitokiri because it's such a great one. It's a great looking character. And then the backstories of Yato and Sakura. Yato's is a bit more tragic, and Sakura, at least for me, the female Hitokiri, I kind of feel a little bad for, and I actually can't even call the female Hitokiri edgy because after reading the backstory, it kind of makes sense. Female Hitokiri's like mentally insane, male and female, I'd say, especially the female. Sakura is definitely insane, and I kind of like that because she's okay. I guess Hitokiri's edgy, but like Hitokiri's a different kind of edgy. It's not like purposely being edgy like Black Prior. It's like they're actually not right in the head. They're mentally unwell, and I kind of like that. And it's a little refreshing too because like I know a lot of people. There are a lot of people who complain about it now, but oh no, it's a crazy character. Crazy character is going on killing spree. But like with Hitokiri, it's just something else. I don't know. And then on top of that, Hitokiri, for me at least, is very fun to play. Since the beginning of the game, I've liked mix-ups, and in the beginning there wasn't many mix-ups and whatnot, but like now we have a bit more mix-ups and all that, and I really do like the mix-up intensive characters, and I like mind gaming people too, and that's what Hitokiri is. Hitokiri is like a big mind game, and people will tell you that Hitokiri is bullshit and whatnot, but like Hitokiri's a surprising amount of fun. I really do enjoy the character because like I, of course, you can say, "Oh, well, just play Warden if you like mix up Warden's a really viable character, yada yada yada." But that's not it. Like Hitokiri is just fun because I enjoy, and people can say it's not outplaying, but I enjoy outplaying people with Hitokiri's mix-ups. Like whether it be, you don't have to consider this a mix-up if you want. A friend and I got into an argument about this actually, but even just like charging the heavies up, I enjoy messing with people when I do that, messing with people. And even with the kicks, I enjoy messing with people when I do that. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, how is that fun? All you do is either kick or you feint and guard break. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but that's not where the fun is. The fun is in, when the person's sitting there, and they think that, you're gonna go for a guard break, but you charge it just a little bit longer, and then bam, you do the kick into the heavy, and you get yourself some free damage, and then they're sitting there like, what just happened? And so then they try and change it up, and they think that you might kick again, but this time, let's say they don't dodge right, so you throw your attack, and then you delay it a little bit, and you kick, and they fall for it because they thought you were going to kick a little later. Like stuff like that is fun to me. And the character, right next to right underneath Black Prior, like it's probably one of the more meta characters of the year. It is the more meta character of the year, actually. It's probably undebatable. But Hitokiri, especially from the beginning, still has a good amount of flaws. Because the biggest thing I noticed when Hitokiri first came out and I played Hitokiri, I noticed a lot of Hitokiri's flaws. So when I went up against other Hitokiris, I usually didn't have a problem unless they sat there and turtled. But even when they turtled, depending on who I was playing, I didn't have much of a problem. It really just depends. And that's something I don't think a lot of people really realized at the beginning when Hitokiri released, is that Hitokiri was not unbeatable. And of course, Hitokiri needed the changes, and they kind of went a little too far with the changes. But Hitokiri just wasn't very well received, which is kind of sad because I felt like Hitokiri actually pushed the whole pushed offense just a little more and was kind of a slither of hope when it comes to sustainable offense, because not a lot of characters have very sustainable offense. There are very little characters who do. And then it just, the whole Hitokiri's whole release kind of, granted some of it was reasonable, but most of the time it highlighted a lot of toxicity and like backwards thinking. Because like I remember when Hitokiri released and I was learning Hitokiri and everything like that, there were times when I'd go up against berserkers or raiders, and they, raider and berserker, they have a lot of hyper armor. I'd fight them, and then they had the nerve to call me out and say I suck at the game because I'm using a character who has hyper armor. And it's like, what? And some of them went so far to say some other things that I'm not even gonna bother to say, because it went down to it started getting racial. But like, it was just like, are you serious? Like, do you understand like how backwards that is? And the sad thing is, Hitokiri is always going to be hated, no matter what. Hitokiri is going to be hated. People are going to say, oh, well, I love Hitokiri now that she's been nerfed. But, like, they don't. They're just saying that to say that. They don't mean it. There's nothing behind that. They're just saying it to, I guess for the in crowd or whatnot. And it's just sad because I think Hitokiri is an actual great addition to the game. And, sustainable offense, which is something we've been needing in the game for so long, it's getting hated on. And even with Hitokiri, now after the post-nerf Hitokiri, I feel like now there are some things, it also highlights a couple of other things that I've been saying for the longest time, is that at least with Hitokiri, in the testing grounds, I want to at least see Hitokiri be given guard break immune heavies. And the reason why I say that is because I feel any character who needs to charge their heavies, so Shigoki and Hitokiri, I feel like they deserve guard break immune heavies, because, and Centurion too, I don't know if he has them or not, but don't quote me on that. I feel like they need them simply because there's nothing worse than when you were charging up your heavy, especially as like Hitokiri Shigoki. This happens to me a lot, and people will guard break me while I'm charging, and it's like I just wanted to start at my offense. Like, please leave me alone, especially on Hitokiri, because Hitokiri, you can turtle on Hitokiri, but like that, I don't like to turtle. So you can turtle on Hitokiri still and whatnot, but like I like to start at my offense. I like to use the tools they have given me, but like I don't want to charge a heavy and then be punished for trying to make the fight progress. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. And then on top of that, Hitokiri's hyper armor was pushed back by a lot, and I don't mean like it was pushed back like just a little bit. It was pushed back by a lot, 500 milliseconds, which is pretty much like a standard attack in For Honor, but it's 500 milliseconds on the strike, not while you're charging it or anything like that. It's on the striking portion, which means you have to get through the charge, and then on top of that, you have to release it, and it has to be in the air for at least that long before you can get your hyper armor in. Which on one hand, that's good because it kind of it kind of makes it so turtling is trading is a bit harder, but at the same time it's like Hitokiri really can't do too much for an opener, as much as from neutral pressure. Hitokiri's pressure comes from after that first hit, and that first hit can be difficult sometimes. And that's not the biggest problem. My biggest problem with Hitokiri is that not even Hitokiri, this is more just the devs, and the most questionable thing that they've done this year was they decreased Hitokiri's speed and damage values, and the reasoning given was because they do not want Hitokiri's killing people in just only it was either 4 or 5 correct reads. It was that's actually in the patch notes. Like, you can go and read that. I may even try and find the patch notes and pull it up myself, but they actually said that they do not want people predicting their enemies and killing them in X amount of strikes, or squish your enemies, which to me, that's very backwards. Like, it's like they're trying to send us backwards. Of course, a lot of people were happy about this because Hitokiri is such a hated character, but at the same time, it's like the devs just actually insulted us. Like, everybody got up in arms when the one dev said learn how to play Lawbringer or whatnot, which he was actually very correct. He was dead on with that, but this is something where people are actually putting effort into, and they're reading their opponents, and they're killing them, they're dispatching of them quickly. And the devs said, no, we don't want that. You are going to sit there. Your attacks are going to be slower, and they're not going to hit hard. And it's not like I guess for heavies, I guess they're pretty fast, but they're not outrageously fast, and they didn't do stupidly strong damage. A heavy is a heavy. They still do good damage now, but it's like, what was the whole point of that? Like, it's like you're treating us like actual brainlets. Like, do you all think we're that stupid? Like, do we all need our hands held just because some people can't do things correctly and they get punished for it? It's actually ridiculous, but that's like a completely another different rant. I know I've said that like 2 times earlier, but it's still true. That's something like for a completely different video that I may do in the future. But like, even that's just my whole opinion on the year 3 characters, from Blackprior to John Who. I think all the characters, despite what I've said about them today, I think they're all good. And I'm gonna say it again, Blackprior is my least favorite, then is Jormungandr, then John Who. I actually really love John Who, and Hitokiri, another character who I absolutely adore. And I just hope that with this year, they're doing things a bit differently, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to do it, but I really want to see this because it'll be interesting nonetheless. And that's really all I've got to say about Year of the Harbinger. Great year, and hopefully Ubisoft picks up their stuff and they start correcting some of the mistakes they made this year and all that. And they're doing a pretty good job of it so far, so let's hope they keep doing that. But that's really all I've got to say for today. If you watch this, like, I appreciate you. I really do. Like, you've made my night. So Thank you.
And on top of that, some other thoughts is I just want to say, like, if you watch the video, I'm sure you've got your own opinion, and I'm sure you definitely want to tell me how wrong I am. So, like, dislike, agree, disagree. I don't care. Just let me know in the comments below, and let's have a conversation.